Quintet of Change.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're listening or watching this from. It's good to be here again for the second Sunday in a row. Last Sunday we looked at VUCA and the fourth industrial revolution. That created a bit of fear in some of the people who listened to it. It VUCAized them. If you remember what VUCA stands for. VUCA is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Now volatile alone is bad enough. Now when you combine it with the others, it just becomes worse. So that created a bit of fear in some of the listeners and the people who watch this. This is not going to be a continuation of the fourth industrial revolution. I'm just going to try and summarize what I should have ended with last week. Though I've given it a different topic about change. So, like I said, change is a constant in life. We're always changing. And we don't have a problem with change. Actually, human beings don't have a problem with change. They only have a problem with unplanned change. Right? Yeah. Because we always want to change. You want to change your hairstyle, you want to change your shoes, and so on and so on. We don't have a problem with that. The only challenge comes when that change is unplanned. When that change is VUCA. So today I'm here to talk about change as VUCA. So when you hear the word change, I'm going to use them interchangeably in a way. So to a large extent I'll be talking about the unplanned change. Right? So when you have a problem with change which is not planned, so that means obviously there are two types of change. There's the planned change and the unplanned change, which is the VUCA. Because we live in a capitalistic society, many times we don't have control over certain things that happen to us. Right? We don't have control. There's a certain group of people, the capitalists, who are probably 5% of the entire society, who set the agenda. The rest of us fall into line. So even this whole VUCA business and fourth industrial revolution business, the agenda has been set elsewhere. Most of us are just pawns on that chessboard. We just fall in line. Statistically speaking, there are very few inventors. Probably less than 2%. So very few of us are going to come up with an original idea, which we are going to sell to the rest of the world. Most of us will just pick up ideas that have been thrown at us, and we either run with them or they totally destroy us, they totally VUCAize us. Right? So the fact that we are under capitalism, like I've said, our role is mainly to provide labor. I'm going to speak to two groups of people today. First, the people who are employed like myself, and then the business owners towards the end. Right? So most of us provide human capital to the capitalists. That's what they call it nowadays. They no longer call it labor. They've sort of sanitized it. And they call it human capital. So when they're talking about, it's no longer even called human resources. It's human capital. So now you have human capital management. That is now a title. Right? Yeah. Human resources is slowly fading out. Again, change. So now they call it human capital. So every time we are planning for human capital. Okay. So that's how they look at us under capitalism. The problem with that is when you don't have any skills to sell to the capitalist, you yourself are the what? You're the capital. let me read a quotation here very quickly. The problem with capitalism is that if you aren't born into wealth, your only capital is your labor. If you are not born into wealth, your only capital is your labor. So automatically, your human body becomes a commodity to sell. And if you can't sell it enough, you won't be able to take care of it, and then you lose your capital.
AKA your body.
Okay? So, unfortunately, that's where some of us are.
Logical.
And under capitalism, most of us are selling our labor. Now, that labor starts from the most basic level, which is our muscles, and then later on we go sort of upgrade to a few skills here and there, and then hopefully you get to the top of the food chain. So I'm just going to go through the different categories of labor that the capitalists employ. Okay? There are many ways of categorizing human capital. So many professors and scholars have written books and articles about it. But I'm going to follow one which I'm most familiar with, which is the Patterson model. A gentleman obviously called Patterson, who gave us this model. So he grades human capital into, I think, 5 or 6. Grade A, B, C, D, E, and F. So grade A is the lowest, the entry level. Now at that level, you are implementing predetermined decisions. You don't have a say into the kind of work you do. Right? Basically, you're told what to do. Move this chair from here to there.
You're almost a machine.
Sweep that compound. Carry this, that is predetermined decisions. You don't have a say into why those decisions are being made, or even what you're doing. You don't have the why of what you're doing. Okay, that is level A. Now, obviously, with automation and the 4IR, that level is the most threatened. Like I told you, machines replace routine tasks, like sweeping, mopping, and carrying all sorts of things. Okay, so that level is under the most threat. Those are the ones who are selling their muscles, especially. Okay? Now, to train someone for this type of job, you don't need more than a month. It's just a matter of showing them this is what you do and this is how we do it. That's it. Typically, for this type of human capital, they don't even ask for qualifications. They don't ask for O-level, A-level, whatever it is. It's just, like I said, predetermined decisions, right? So level B, you're sort of in between. You're not making the decisions, but you have a bit of leeway to make some decisions according to the type of work you're doing, right?
Storekeeper.
Like a storekeeper. There are predetermined routines and decisions, but you have a bit of leeway. Yeah, you can even lock the store and say, for whatever. So this is category B. Now, typically for this category, you need about 2 to 3 months to train those types of skills. Okay. Now, again here, your academic qualifications are not required as such. You are sort of better than level A, but just slightly better than them. So again, this category is threatened by automation and the fourth industrial revolution. Because most of these decisions, all these routines, I told you, the people who should be scared the most are those who do routine work, repetitive work.
Works that can be programmed in a machine.
Exactly. If your work can be programmed, if your job is just a series of tasks, then you should be scared. Okay? So that's level B. Now level C, this is where the technical skills start to come in. Now you need a bit of education, formal education. At this level you start to understand the why of the things you're doing. You're not just doing them because you're being told. You sort of try to understand the why you're doing them. Okay? Now here, this is where you have most professionals actually. This is where they start. I have a degree from Makerere, I have a certificate from I don't know which institution. Now this is where most of us start, entry level. Okay? Now level D is for interpreting decisions now. Now there you're starting to use a bit of you have moved away from the muscles. If you follow this, you're moving away from the muscles to the brain. Right? Now level D, you make interpretative decisions. Basically what comes from up, from level F and E, your job now in level D is to interpret that, to make sense for the grade B and grade A. Now at this point you're the one who actually sets the agenda in a way, but based on what you're told as well. So you set the agenda for these lower levels.
Manager.
Yeah, actually this is the management level now. Manager so and so, manager this, manager said, manager this, You're just implementing what you're told, but now you have a bit of leeway to even choose who does the work.
You're following a particular money of the company.
The company, exactly. So that's level D. And then we go to level E, which is where the programming decisions are made. Now this is where we have now reached the strategic level. Like I told you, we are moving away from the muscles, we are going into the head. Now we have reached the strategic level. Now this is where you're making strategic decisions for the business or for the company. So if you're employed at this level, this is where we probably have chief finance officers. What else? Human capital managers. They're not called human resource. Human capital managers are now this level.
Human capital manager.
They sanitize the word. Okay? Now that's the level. So you're sort of making programming decisions. Now you have a bit of power to set the agenda, which you then push down to level D, and then level D implements what you did. Now on top of that you have level F, which is the policy. Now this is where the CEOs are, the MDs. You probably even say that's where the presidents are. Okay? This is the top level. Okay? The management level, again strategic, but again a higher level now. So they push decisions down, and then they implement it until level D. So if you're employed and you're listening to me or you're here, what level are you in your company or in your organization? There's level A, there's level B, C, D up to F. So the biggest threat is for levels A, B, C. Actually, under the fourth industrial revolution, actually level A and B is what we typically call blue collar jobs.
Level A and B.
Yeah. But under the fourth industrial revolution, actually, even the so-called white collars are threatened. Yes, they're losing jobs.
White collar is
the big five. Yeah, white collar starts from C up. Those are guys who sit behind desks with computers and all. In the last, I think 3-4 months, the big five, the software companies, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Facebook, they've let go of 180,000 people.
Workers.
These include even software engineers, by the way. You would think they are letting go of cleaners and no. Even so-called knowledge workers. Actually, this level, the upper levels are called knowledge workers. Even the knowledge workers are threatened. Because previously, let me just give an example. You needed maybe a lawyer to review a 200-page document. Or for the banks that give out loans, you need to review Peter's portfolio and assess his risk. Should we give Peter a loan or not? Now that decision is made by a computer somewhere. Okay? You feed in certain information, it spits out an answer in 5 seconds or less. So even the knowledge workers are in trouble now.
Because machines are doing that.
Yeah. Because machines are, like I said, machines are capable of processing a large amount of information at a very fast rate. They can do repetitive tasks and they don't get tired. They don't take leave. Human beings 8 to 5, as soon as it gets to 5, everyone is running out of office. The machine will not go home. They don't take leave. No maternity leave, no paternity leave. So that is for the employees. So as change as change comes, it affects, like I said, change affects you. Change affects us all. VUCA affects us all, but at different levels.
And in different
Some
ways.
more than others, and in different ways. And depending on how we adapt to that change, we either win or we lose. Okay? Like I said, human beings have no problem with change as long as it is planned and programmed. But in the real world, that's not how it works. Some things just happen. I give you an example of COVID. COVID came here and shocked us. 5-year strategic plans were compressed into 3 months. I told you in my company, we're planning to buy laptops for everyone within 5 years to have a mobile workforce. When COVID came and we had to work from home, we bought 600 laptops in 3 months. Laptops we had planned to buy over 5 years, so that everybody could work from home. So VUCA can change even strategic plans from 5 years into 2 months.
If either reduce the time or even extend.
Or even extend it, yes. So, depending on which level you are, depending on this model, you'll be affected differently. So what I've come to talk about today is how to sort of manage this change when it comes. Because there's also another field that has come up called change management. I know that you guys have heard of it. They are now change managers. People who can manage you transition through change. Last week when we were talking about education, and we're wondering what should we teach our children now? And it's not an easy question to answer, I must say, because some of the roles today didn't exist even just 20 years ago. Content creator, influencer, I don't know. They didn't exist 20 years ago. Eh?
I wonder what that means, content creator.
Yeah. We shall talk about that. But we know they're here and they're earning big influencers. Of course, influencing is really sales and marketing, but what I'm trying to say is, in 20 years, we don't know what sort of world we are going to have. Will our children be ready for that world? What sort of skills do they need to manage this change? So we as parents are undergoing the change, but even as our children are going through the change, how are they going to handle the world? What sort of skills do they need? That is the question we were grappling with last week, and I'll talk about that as well. So, change is here. The other aspect of change is of course, human beings are very adaptable, by the way. All species, in fact. And this is where the naturalists, bring their theories of natural selection and all that. Because place a human being anywhere, they'll thrive within a few. That's why you have people in the Antarctica, you have people in Africa, you have people like everywhere. Like our Kiva says, man was created to dominate. The air, the seas, the land. He's not the biggest animal, but he has dominated everything. Human beings are very adaptable. Some naturalists think we have this black skin because of where we live. The evolutionists, they think we adapted to the change that way by getting darker skin and this type of hair and so on. And then those guys further up in the northern hemisphere have lighter skins and so on and so on. Now we can have a debate about that, but that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is human beings adapt to change so fast. That is what natural selection says. Now, those who do not adapt fast enough, obviously fall by the wayside. Okay. Now, some of us are scared as individuals, but even these companies that we work for are also scared. If you don't adapt fast enough, you're out. There are so many examples I could give. I can give an example of Kodak. Kodak has been talked about. You know Kodak? The guy used to make those. Yeah. Kodak was the first company to develop a digital camera in the 1970s, early 70s, before anybody else. But remember, they had their, that film, whatever it's called. That one used to take and they develop and print out pictures. So they had a research arm which used to develop, which came up with the digital camera before anybody else did. By 1975, it was actually, they had manufactured it, they were ready to ship. And then the level F, remember the other levels of Patterson, they came in and said, but wait a minute, if we ship this digital camera, it's going to affect our sales of
the film.
Yes. It's going to kill us in a way. So they put it on hold. We cannot make a decision which kills us. So they put this whole digital thing on hold. In a few years.
Are they still alive? Anyway.
Where's Kodak? Tell me. Who has even heard of Kodak in the last 5-10 years?
They put it on hold.
They are actually the company is now on hold. The company itself. So somebody came with the whole digital camera thing. Look at where we are. Kodak. Out. So the speed of adapting to change also matters. The big question is always when to change and when to stay stagnant. Timing matters. Both at individual level and at even company level. Those of you who are business owners.
And timing requires reasoning.
At what time at what point are you going to say, I'm changing strategic direction?
And why?
The biggest reason is always why. Actually, that's my model that I'm going to talk about, the quintet of change. The first question is always why. Why am I changing? Is it out of fear? Fourth industrial revolution is coming. I'm going to be jobless, so data science, I don't know all these things, programming. What are you doing? Like what problem are you trying to solve?
And Why?
And why? Isaiah always says, you are just a refugee, running away from your problems. So, it's also important to think about why. The why of the change. Before you start panicking and taking your kids around to Harvard and all this place. Why? Okay? So the speed of change matters. Can I give you another example? Nokia. Those of you are old enough, at least here, everyone is old enough. Everyone of us here held a Nokia at some point. Nokia was the leader in the mobile space. Yeah?
Nokia.
Especially in this, everywhere Nokia.
For the name of a cell phone is Nokia.
Actually, Nokia became synonymous with phone. And then at some point, you remember BlackBerry? BlackBerry came in. Now, what BlackBerry did, BlackBerry was targeting the corporates especially. Because for the first time, you could have your email on your phone. It was not possible. So you could have email, and basically you could have a mobile office. Email at the time was the only thing you needed to work for,
Yahoo!
So BlackBerry came and brought email on the phone. It was huge. Their market was the corporate companies. Okay? Not the people who work in the corporate company. Because what your boss wanted was, can Peter respond to an email on Sunday? What time is it? 1:54 p.m. If I send him an email now, can he respond from wherever he is? Yes. Give him a BlackBerry. But I don't want any of these other things which will distract him. Don't put games, don't put what? Email. So BlackBerry also came big.
As an emailing gadget.
Yeah. And then, this is when these other guys thought, but wait a minute. Is the phone meant to just do email? The Android of the world. Is it meant to just do email and that's it? In fact, the guy we are giving the BlackBerry doesn't even like it. It's actually an annoyance. Because your boss is sending email at midnight. You know? Can't you give him something else while he's in the bar to chill with? But BlackBerry said, for us, we are in the corporate world.
Business strictly.
Business. We're targeting corporates. Now, if you want social things and what? That's not. BlackBerry slept on the job. Where's BlackBerry now?
It turned itself into a leash that no one entertained.
Exactly. So BlackBerry, yeah, because there's nothing you can use it for. But BlackBerry now it became a status symbol even at the time. You know BlackBerry.
Like the iPhone now.
So the Androids came. They said, no, you can have more than email on the phone. You can have radio. You can have,
Email is one of the things.
Email is one of the things. because you see, Peter doesn't actually want the BlackBerry. It's his boss who wants him to have the BlackBerry. But Peter actually wants the camera, the what. So why don't we give him that? So BlackBerry. What I'm talking about here is speed of adoption, change. Many times we are comfortable where we are. And comfort is okay because things are working. I have my small house here, one here, 1 or 2 kids. Things are okay. Why should I change?
Did you say comfort is okay?
Yeah, it's good.
Comfort is okay.
Yeah.
It's actually
That's
the goal.
Yes, all of us are working for comfort. There's that Ugandan dream of 4-3-2-1. 4-wheel drive, 3-bedroomed house, 2 children, 1 wife. That is the Ugandan dream.
4-3-2-1.
4-3-2-1. 4-wheel drive car, 3-bedroom house, 2 children, 1 wife. What else do you need in Uganda? Only 50 by 100.
You can reverse and make the 4 wives. And the 4-wheel and put 1 4-wheel.
That is the Ugandan dream.
It's 4-2-3-1.
Everybody who goes to school or gets a little income buys a 50 by 100 and puts up a small house, buys a third-hand Japanese car, what is the wife? A kid or 2 or 3. Oh, what else? What else are you looking for, guys? Let's be honest. So comfort is okay, Tom. I'm just trying to answer it. Comfort is fine.
As much as our parents.
So,
That is the truth.
but the question then is, when change comes, can we actually adapt to it? In the company I used to work for, we used to have meter readers. People who would walk physically to every meter.
They had yellow bibs.
So end of month, they are running all over this country to read every meter. How many units have you used? How many units have you used? And then Yaka came.
Our bathroom.
They are nowhere.
Yeah. Change. Vuka.
Bali eri bakola bwakadaama.
So if at that point you have no skills whatsoever,
Wasomesa omwana
Seka
okusoma.
muzannya.
Omwana musomesa amanyi okusoma.
if at that,
asoma meter.
so if the only thing you can do is read the meter, then you're in trouble.
Lwaki otunulira nze naweerera wa mita.
At a certain point in time, where the people who use generators, I'm sure Tom is familiar with this. If you have generator power, and then you have mains power, and then the mains goes off, you have to come and switch on the generator, and then that was someone's job.
Yes.
Now we have changeover switches, don't we?
It is no more.
So your job is a changeover switch. Actually, automatic.
Others are automatic.
Yeah.
You just
automatic.
switch on.
So, yeah, change. I'm talking about change. So, are you a changeover switch where you are?
Okubye nnyawo.
Or are you a meter reader?
Actually twalibuuza kibuuzo ekyo. Okola omulimu ogutali gugwo, okola omulimu gwa yaka, okola omulimu gwa change over switch.
So, exactly. That's why I said the reason I gave you the other mode of Patterson is to check ourselves. What level are we and what sort of tasks are we doing? Because some of our jobs are just a series of tasks and that's it. So change is here, fourth industrial revolution is here. How are we going to transition? Okay? Some of us may need to switch industries entirely. Yeah. Teacher, today you're a teacher, tomorrow you might be a data scientist. Why not? Though I said last week that teachers who don't use AI don't have jobs in future. But teachers who use AI have jobs. So in other words, AI is here to assist us. You cannot get rid of human beings entirely.
No.
You can't. In fact, many companies are struggling with that ratio, the balance between automation. At what point is automation good enough, and where do you need humans? Because I told you machines cannot move themselves. They cannot service
Balancing the
themselves.
boat. How do I use machines to make more money and use fewer people?
Fewer human beings. What is the minimum number?
Because human beings are a baggage.
Yes.
Oh.
Ajja ne mu office nakabira mama yafudde. Mama yafa.
Amanyi okwekalakaasa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Human beings are for a
Yeah,
capitalist.
baggage.
Your baggage, your cost. Actually, your cost.
Your
center.
cost.
Your cost. You have to pay your
However,
salary.
human beings are the consumers again.
Yes.
Kati bwe bava mu mirimu AI byekola ani agenda obikonsuma?
Change. Sabula kuyita.
Change. Like I said, we don't know the world that we are going into. None of us is sure. None of us knows the future. Even Prophet Mbonye is a liar.
No, Mbonye is a liar already.
Yeah, he's a liar.
So he can't qualify to be an evil.
So none of us can predict the future, but of course we can predict trends. We can sort of see the trends. Where is it going? Okay. I told you in the beginning, only 2% of the world are inventors.
2%.
Only 2%. Many of us are never going to come up with a brilliant idea. I ever had a brilliant idea, brother, and then you go to Google and search for it, and it was already done.
Ogenda okulaba nga gyoyita idea yo wagiwulirako sometime back kati ogenda okulaba nga
Yes. It is like it changes, like it happens. Sometimes you're like, hey, but this thing. You sit down, and then you go to Google and someone has already done it, and for 10 years. And for 10 years. Have you ever thought of starting a business like in your area where you normally pass? But this road of ours doesn't have this. Then you think about it, then you start planning how much money, and then the following week someone has opened the same thing. Has it ever happened to you? As in, the ideas are, everyone has ideas. But the thinkers and the executors are very few. Most of us are, when a new invention comes on board, like I said, only 2.5 are the inventors. They're what they call the early adopters. Those are the guys who line up for 2 weeks before an iPhone is released. Not because when it's released they won't have it, no. They want to have it fast.
They're already in the line.
They pick up on new things, they want new things. Early adopters. Any change that comes.
2 weeks before the...
Yeah, you have seen those lines in Europe and
in Europe, yeah.
But why?
Lining up.
Because when the iPhone is released after a month, I'll walk in and everyone will have it. Those guys want it.
I was the first.
Yeah, I was the first to have this iPhone. And many of those versions that release even have bugs. They have issues.
Hey.
They go on fixing them. Now those who buy them like after 6 months get the best version. These guys don't care. Early adopters of change. Again, those are very few.
There are few.
Okay.
Ensiriŋŋanyi.
So the next category after that. So even when a change comes, the early adopters again are the minority.
Really serious.
The early adopters are the minority of the change. 2% again, 2.5. Then we have the early, what are they called? Around another maybe 35%. Those who come after the early adopters. I've forgotten the name, unfortunately. But basically these are now the majority. Hey, Peter has bought that laptop. Ah, it is untested. Let me first wait and see. First wait and see. If he uses it for 6 months and it's not dead, I'll also buy.
Then he goes to the shop and says, I want this laptop. My friend has it.
Now those are the majority now. They buy because the early adopters, adopted the change, tested it, they fixed the issues. Now it's ready for the mass market. Now most of us are in the mass market.
They suffer the risks.
The early adopters suffer the risks. Okay? And then you have again another 2% at the end. You have the 2%. You have the early adopters. And then you have this middle group, the early, the ones that come after the early, and then the late, but still within the majority. Then you have the other 3% at the end. They are called the laggards. Those were the ones who buy the iPhone 10 now. After everyone has used it, it has been around for long. They're like, okay, might be. Even me get me an iPhone.
Ugandans with their cars,
Though maybe our reasons are probably different. They are probably more economical than whether, because Ugandans love good things. We have the latest phones because we can afford them. Cars are a bit more pricey. So, even in the adoption of change, we move at different speeds. Are you an early adopter?
In change.
Everyone, each one of them has its risks.
Why you a laggard?
The other 3% which waits for everyone, the mass market has
Now you are going to just attract only 1% of the market. And yet you had 100%.
Okay. So this brings me to my
change.
This brings me to my quintet of change. That was all background information. So my quintet of change, of course, quintet refers to 5. Yes, because quartet. Those of you sing quartet is 4, trio is 3, duo is 2, and so quintet refers to 5. So this is a framework of 5 ideas of how we go through change. Okay. I think I should just give them to you and then I'll explain. You can call it ADKAR or ADKAR. ADKAR. That is the model. 5 steps of going through change, which is what I want to talk about today. Okay. Now A is for awareness. Okay. Awareness is what I've been doing the last 2 weeks, and I think it's sort of self-explanatory. Because some people don't even know there's a 4th industrial revolution. Did you know? The people who are stuck in the first. They're not even using steam engines or yes. So the first step of change.
Did I know 4th industrial revolution?
Exactly. So the first step is awareness of the quintet. Now here is where you sort of information. Yes, information. I give you the information. We're in the 4th industrial revolution. How are you, preparing for it? Did you even know it exists?
Knowledge stage.
Yes, knowledge stage. Okay. And then of course this is where questions like, what's in it for me? If we need more in this new change. Like I said, this is the model for all sorts of change. When introducing a new change, many people ask this question. If we need more, you want me to do ABC and why? So again, this is the why stage.
Awareness.
Yes, awareness. I'm going to go through. There are 5. ADKAR. ADKAR, if you like. Okay. So the first goal is defined as the need for awareness for change, not simply that change is happening. Those are 2 different. Here, awareness takes care of the need for you to change. Not simply to be aware that there's a change happening. Because being aware is, yeah, okay. Yeah, I see them here, they pass here. Yeah. So this is for you as an individual to give you the awareness of the need to change. Okay? And it's very important. It's always step 1. Okay, now step 2, which is the most difficult of all the 5 in my opinion, is desire.
That's D.
Desire, that's the D. Now this represents the willingness for you to actually adapt to the change. Because knowing about a change is good. It's just information. Yeah, but do I really want to change? Does everyone of us want to get to the 4th industrial revolution? No, do you want to? Not everyone wants. When people hear machines, they think technology, boring stuff. Not everyone is excited by this stuff.
Really? There are people who don't even have smartphones.
They don't want. Smartphone is useful. So people, some people don't even have the desire, absolutely, to change. Now that's level 2. That's why I said it's the most difficult. Why?
They are within a change and resisting change.
Exactly. And this desire, unfortunately, cannot come from outside. It has to come from inside. It's an inside job. All I can do is give you the awareness. Guys, we're in the 4th industrial revolution. Things are happening. They're already here. Now the desire is for you
to participate.
It's for you to, you know. And this, and how do you know you are ready for that? When you say, I'll be part of this change. That's when you know you have the desire. Yes. When you say, I'm going to be part of this change, now you've started the desire. Okay? There are many factors that can influence our desire. Like I said, status. Sometimes you're comfortable where you are. Yeah, there's no need to change. So status can kill your desire for change. Okay? Financial security. Sometimes you have your money, your net worth is, a few zeros. Yeah, why do I need to change? I give you an example of Kodak. Kodak was the leader in the that whole business. Cameras with films and what? The balance sheet was looking good. Level F guys came and said, no, the balance sheet is reading very well. Those digital cameras are going to destroy our balance sheet. So that can affect desire for change. Okay? The other factors, age. Age can also affect our desire. If you told a 60-year-old man to go back and learn computers, now we're 70-year-old. Like, it is hard. So sometimes the older we grow, the harder it is to adapt to change. Okay? Sometimes our health can also determine that. Maybe you are just sickly. So all those are factors. Okay? Education background. Maybe you are trained as a meter reader. Now they are telling you, now your car has replaced you. Now you need to get a new career. Now where do you even start? Okay? So it's at this point that you need to know what the change is and how it's going to impact you. That's at the desire stage. Okay? Now the K is for knowledge. Remember we're on ADCA. So K is for knowledge. This one is, I think, the most straightforward of all. Now this is where you're aware of the change, you have the desire, you're saying I want to be part of this change. Now you go out and seek information and knowledge. Actually knowledge and training and all these things about that change. If you say I'm going to be a data scientist, you apply to Harvard. You're seeking knowledge now. You get a tutor, you get maybe a mentor to help you. You start, engaging with these guys who are in that business or that change, who have been there before you. Okay, that's the knowledge stage now. But I said knowledge. Now many people skip the other two. I must warn you. If you jump to knowledge, because that's where all of us jump. Fourth industrial revolution. Can be eager. Now you jump to knowledge. So you jump to Mwana Kamtwala International School. You've jumped to stages. Okay, maybe awareness, a bit, but remember I told you awareness is the why stage. And then desire.
Awareness is the need.
The need for change, okay? And then the desire stage is what is the change now I'm going to make? Or what is this change? How is it going to impact me? And what's in it for me?
The will.
Now the knowledge stage is now where you're aware of the change, you have the desire, then you start seeking either tutors, knowledge, you enroll for a certificate here, seek mentors, you establish certain relationships with the people who are,
You have changed the one of the letters in the acronym to C.
To see.
The knowledge stage is conversant, being conversant.
Exactly. Conversant with the change.
Conversant with the change.
Yes.
You have heard about the change, but do you understand it?
Do you understand it? And therefore, do you know what skills to look for? Before, that's why I told you, if you skip a level,
You are
you are
good.
good. Many of us jump to the knowledge stage. Knowledge. Masters. Because all you need is money. You have money for masters, you go and do the master. Isn't that knowledge? So, here we have behaviors and skills. Processes, systems, and things like that. And again, here we talk about knowledge on how to change, what to do during the transition, but also knowledge on how to perform in the future state. Remember, you have a current state and a desired state. So here the knowledge is for both how to change, but also how to perform in the new normal, if I may use the word. Okay. Yeah. Now here is also where you do knowledge gaps. This is where things like that are done.
Under knowledge.
Yes, under knowledge. What do you know? What do you want to know? Those are the gaps. Those are things you do. And of course, the methods for that, you already know, the education, the trainings, the workshops, the networking, and all that. So, brings me to
another A.
To the A, which is the last one. No, it's not the last one.
Second last.
The fourth, yes. Ability. A is ability.
Change has come. But
You've sought the knowledge. You have attended all these courses. Now, what abilities do you have? What skills do you have at that point? Do you actually have the ability to go through this change? This is more, you could look at it more like application of the knowledge in the previous stage. Okay? Yeah, this is more like the application stage. Okay, you have all these skills, you have. So, how do you apply those skills? That's the ability stage.
How unique are you?
Yes. Here, you're demonstrating your understanding of the real world based on the knowledge you have received and the change that you're doing.
Interesting.
So that's the ability stage. Okay? So now here, some people actually measured on results, on outcomes. That's why I think we've always had this thing in our education system. Because they can't apply any of the things. And of course, I know that's a Pandora's box. I don't want to open that. We normally discuss knowledge. We normally discuss knowledge and what it means. Does knowledge mean being able to do?
Oh.
I don't want to go there. But I hope you get the point. Within the context we are. Yeah.
Monday will come.
Tomorrow. So, the last one. R. Reinforcement.
A.
The R. Reinforcement. This is what our people, where we came from, used to call follow up. After you have preached to people, they are converted, they are now doing your rituals. You need to keep checking. Human beings forget.
Yes.
So this is like so you need to keep checking on them. Hey Peter, how is this change? This is where you need accountability partners. Oh Peter, you said you're going to do data science. So every month I check in with you. How far with that 6-month course you said you're doing? How are you preparing for this exam you said you're going to do? So reinforcement is like sustaining the change. Okay? Now this is the very difficult stage because change awareness gets us excited. Get excited. We start all this thing. Yeah, I have the desire. Yeah, I want to do this thing. Then I seek the knowledge. Then even start applying some of it, and then
the morale
dies out for whatever reason. Maybe some things are actually difficult. You realize data science, unless you are.
You realize where is the awareness and the knowledge?
The knowledge
was minimal.
So the reinforcement stage is very important too, because it helps you to sustain the change. It keeps you in check.
Your existence in change depends on this stage.
Yes.
That's the only way you can exist.
Yes.
Otherwise, change can happen within change.
Yes, exactly. because change is a constant.
Yeah.
Change is always happening. I told you the only problem you have with change is when you are not aware of it. but change can happen even within change.
Within change.
Yes. So you can actually come out worse.
ate yo change tekulinda.
I told you timing is part of change.
Huh?
Yeah. You can either be too early or too late.
Yeah.
You can be too early or too late.
Or too late.
Yeah.
Or too wrong.
Or too wrong, yes, entirely. Yes. That is VUCA. That is VUCA. That's what I told you.
This is how billion companies fail.
Yep.
In a single decision.
Yes, at F level F.
Huh? And you are no more.
By the way, it is.
There's a company called Blockbuster. I don't know if you heard of it. They used to rent out DVDs. Let's forget the other video tapes. Now DVDs. The DVD age had come. That's when the Netflixes were now coming up. Then again, funny enough, ideas always come from a minority. So they said, man, these Netflixes are coming up. Internet is, it has now mass adoption. It's cheap. People have it in there. Why don't you just try online streaming?
No.
Their balance sheet, I think 20% of their revenue was coming from late returns.
20%.
As in when you borrow a DVD and return it late, they'll fine you. So earning a lot of money off just that.
And of course, people are lazy.
Yeah, they're lazy because you pick it, maybe weekend, I'm bored, then Monday you leave it at home. So they're earning a lot of money off late returns. But change was coming, VUCA was coming. And they slept on the job. Again, those level Fs. You know, those guys like balance sheets.
Figures don't lie.
Hey, figures. Figures
of
of life. We saw Nokia, we saw BlackBerry, we saw Kodak. Like, I can give you 20 examples.
I have told people numbers lie.
Numbers lie, they do. So that's why I'm saying timing is part of change. Timing is part of change.
Yeah,
So,
actually, sometimes I feel that God Katonda asobola okubeera nga akuwadde nti your breakthrough is here, but it is supposed to be within this time period and this time period.
Exactly.
Kati gwe n'olowooza
Yes.
nti ogenda alemerako, then even you spoil what you do.
Is because you not be young forever.
Ng'oli awooza Mukama teerabira kye yasuubiza.
You not be young forever.
So ng'ate yakikuwadde okikupe awo
Or you may not have Tom in your life forever. You know, some of our things are really, the network we have. Yeah, you may not have Tom forever in your life. Or leaders, whatever. Okay, so timing is part of change. So that's the QUINTET of change I want to talk about. The ADKA acronym: awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and then reinforcement. I was actually thinking, as we preach this gospel of ours, how can we apply that model? Is it because people don't have the awareness of this gospel we preach? They don't know that we are saved by grace, so they have a superficial understanding. Where are we missing? What stage do we need to focus on in our? Because I think also what iTiS is trying to do.
You almost solve the fight.
This gospel we preach, we're trying to bring about change, right? So how do we manage our change using that model? Where do we need more focus using that model? Is it the awareness? Do people know? Because we talk about popularizing Jesus. Jesus is preached on the streets of Kampala. Every street now has a big speaker like this. Jesus, people dancing in it. Is that the awareness? Or that is knowledge? I don't know. I just thought I would throw that on the table for us to think about.
The need to awareness.
Because,
the need.
yes, because change is uncomfortable, by the way. Very uncomfortable. Because it changes who you are, actually. As you change, or as you embrace a change, you also change. It is uncomfortable to become something you don't even know. It is very uncomfortable. Okay? So, I just thought we may need to think a bit more about that, maybe tomorrow during our Zoom. How do we, this gospel that we preach, are we failing at the knowledge stage, at the reinforcement stage, at the awareness stage, or because what the desire stage? Because desire, we don't have a lot of control. It's the individual now who says, I want to be now that desire, is it what we are missing? Are we not giving out enough knowledge, quote unquote? Like I said, we'll discuss that. But that's the model I thought I would discuss. Okay. Yeah. Now for the business owners, as I finish. Now there are many business strategies. Again, going through change. Now you can decide. Some companies want to offer the lowest prices, for example. That is their strategy, to be the cheapest in the market.
And attract sales.
Yes.
Strategy.
You know a few of those. There's my wife is in the cake business. There's a guy called Denovo in this town. I don't know if you have Denovo.
Lenovo.
You know what they sell these guy things in the park.
It's called Lenovo.
Denovo.
Eh.
That guy,
Eh.
I think in the cake industry, decided to be the cheapest.
Are you sure?
You've seen in the taxi park they normally sell those cakes. They used to be 500. Right now they are how much? Sorry? Oh, okay, it's okay. But this guy, I don't know how he does. We've done mathematics with my wife.
You can't make it.
You can't make what he does and sell at that price and stay in business. So that is a business strategy. Maybe your business now has to change focus.
In fact, we have 3 business strategies. Are you doing it better, cheaper, or faster?
Exactly.
Better,
Cheaper or faster.
People will buy when either you're cheaper, or you're better, or better where
Faster.
better is quality,
Yeah, better is
or
quality.
faster.
Or you're doing it faster than the next person. Instead of waiting 1 month to get my machine, can I get it in 2 weeks?
People faster.
So actually, Peter, you've made my work even simple. That's where I was going. Like now, as a business owner, you now need to think of a new strategy, because also change is going to affect. Are you going to bring in machines to do certain manual tasks within your business? Are you going to reskill, retrain your employees? Maybe you have a lot of meter readers. Maybe you have a lot of changeover switches, human changeover switches. Are you going to retrain them, because those are some of the decisions for the business owner? Okay.
Do you need them?
Yeah, do you need them? What level of automation do you need in your business as opposed to humans? Now you need to start thinking of the balance between the two, and so on and so forth. Now nowadays, this is the one I'm going to end with. Nowadays, there's a lot of focus. Remember CSR? CSR is what was it?
CSR.
Companies do a lot of CSR. I've seen them sweeping markets, doing medical camps. What is that called? CSR? Somebody has got out of my head. Trying to pretend to give back to the society.
Community
Basically, we collect all these billions from you, then we come and spend 20 billion in your community. Yeah. Now, there's something called CSI. CSI is community social impact. Now, instead of just doing those little things, you need to measure the impact in the community. Yes, what is the impact of that little medical camp you did? Oh, actually, what is the impact of your business in this community? If your business was not in this community, would it be missed? Yeah. What is it adding to this community? So you're measuring your social impact in the community. Of course, you're giving people jobs. Are you buying raw materials? That's why most of these calculators are not build schools and hospitals. Trying to help the community. It's part of their impact. Okay? Yeah, trying to give back. The other thing, which I see a lot now, is called ESG. ESG is environment, social, and governance. Again, that's a new role that has come out in many of these corporate companies. Environment, social, and governance. Now, investors are typically looking for people who care about these things. The environment, because of climate change and that. Whether it's a real or not, I tell you, don't set the agenda. Some people do. So investors are now asking, those machines you run, what is their impact on the environment? Before I invest money in your business, what's their impact on the environment? Carbon emissions.
I love my trees.
Hey, that's why now, is it said they're going to plant 1 million trees now? This is part of ESG. They're attracting these kinds of. Now these are the kinds of investors now. People who care about some of these things. All these all these car companies are saying by 2035 we're going to be fully electric. I think General Motors said that, and a few other, even Ford. Again, because of ESG. So now business owners are starting to care about
That is the change coming.
ESG. Actually, even Umeme now has an ESG coordinator. Was appointed last year because of the same. Umeme uses borrows money to do some of the work. But then those are questions we kept getting. What is your impact? Those transformers of use, what is the impact on the environment? Those dams. Again, that is change. So ESG now is part of business. So as even you report your good numbers, your balance sheets, you have to have a report on ESG. Some investors care about it.
If you need their money.
Yeah, and if you need their money, you have to tell them, no, we're going to reduce carbon emissions by this much. You know, you have to speak that language that they like. ESG. G is for governance. Again, how are you governed? How diverse is your management? How many women do you employ?
Are you democratic or not?
Those are the governance issues. Where they come from, I said we can debate. But they are here. So ESG issues are now important in business. So besides the balance sheets, you have to report about ESG.
ESG again is
Sustainable, environment, social,
and
governance. So you have to talk about how you impact the environment. You have to talk about social issues. Are there social issues within your community? How are you addressing them? And then the governance side. How are you governed? Do you have an all-male board? Of course, here we're all black and all, but now in those countries where you have blacks, Hispanics, now those things matter. So you end up seeing a Hispanic here, a woman there, because they're trying to do this governance thing. That's how stupid it can be. Yeah, so anyway, those are some of the things to think about as a business owner. Corporate social impact is what I meant. The other one was corporate social responsibility. CSR. This is corporate social impact, which again is a topic of its own. We can actually spend an hour just talking about that. But now think about the impact and then the ESG issues. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share with you. That's the quintet of change. May God bless you.